Welcome to the Integrated Movement Condition. My name is Erin Vancelette and I have a brain. I'm pretty sure you do too. The purpose of this explainer presentation is to give you a very high-level overview of how your brain works. Your brain is working, like all of the time, like now, and even now. Your ears just took in sounds, your brain determined which sounds made a word, when silence occurred, and your brain determined that the noise was in fact sirens. It compared that noise to previous experiences to recognize sirens, and probably even brought up a picture of an ambulance in your mind. All of these processes, differentiating between the sounds that make words, the sounds that are noises, and prioritizing those sounds so that you know what to pay attention to, occur in a variety of places in our brains. Each process is a separate process with its own loop of input, interpretation, and output. This also occurs for vision and movement. Your brain is incredibly complex. We have only recently started to uncover its true capacity and inner workings through the field of neuroscience, which is the scientific study of the nervous system. Neuroscience is evolving rapidly as more branches of science begin grasping the power of our brains. It is important to know that what we once thought about the brain and its capability might be wrong. The old myths about our brains are just that. The myth that only children can learn a new language, or that your body breaks down after age 30, or the ridiculous belief that men are better at math than women. We are always capable of changing, able to learn anything new at any age, and able to move our bodies until we die. All of this change can happen by training our brains. Every process in our brain is essentially a series of connections or links created by electrically charged neurons. If I tell you to raise your left arm, your brain takes in the sounds, which is the first part of the link. The sounds become words, second part of the link. The words are decoded, the third part of the link. The instruction has been received in your brain. That's one process, which is a bunch of links. Next up, you've received the instruction, raise your left arm, so the next process starts. Your brain says, okay, left arm has to go up. The brain map for your left shoulder gets woken up, and bam, your left arm is magically raised. Then the next process occurs, and let's assume no one specifically instructs you to lower your arm. Some of you may keep your arm up for just a second. Some may keep it up until your shoulder burns from holding it up for so long. The decision about when to lower your arm is very personal and based on your own history and personal experiences. Essentially, your own set of neuronal connections are the maps or links built by your experience. Breaking down the input-output process. Input includes data we receive from our surroundings. Our eyes, ears, and body are the receivers of that data. Our eyes take in thousands of pieces of information at any one time. Your brain determines which pieces to pay attention to and makes a decision as to what to do with it. For example, imagine you are in the ocean, you look out to see the sky, clouds, waves, surfers, dogs playing, and a giant shark mouth about to engorge you. There may actually be a plane in the sky, the shadow of a piece of wood floating by, maybe some fish, none of which your brain really needs to pay attention to, but that shark. Your brain says, oh, what a nice day at the beach. Oh my God, there's a shark! Your brain prioritized all of the information coming in through your eyes. The shark ranked higher than the shadow of the driftwood. Our ears pretty much do the same thing. There's lots of stimulus at the beach. The sounds of the waves, the sounds of kids playing, the sound of the wind, and the sound of someone yelling shark. Your brain prioritizes the increased volume of sound and the word shark to make a decision, rather than just staying focused on the sounds of the waves. Proprioception. Essentially, proprioception is awareness of our body in space. It's how we can tell that we are standing in sand or petting the shark that is about to eat us. An interpretation decision. We feel the sand under our feet. Your brain says, that's sand, it's squishy. We feel the roughness of the shark's skin in the palm of our hands. Your brain says, that's rough, feels kind of dangerous. Your brain knows your hand is on the shark, and it makes your hand pull away. Our eyes, ears, and body all received information which the brain then interpreted and made a decision about. The final step is output. Based on all of this, seeing a shark, hearing someone yell shark, and feeling a shark, your brain's output was to make your legs and arms move as fast as possible in the opposite direction of the shark. Your brain creates an output based on the input it receives and the pre-existing neuronal connections that make up your experiences. What if, in the same shark scenario, instead of you, it was a 3-year-old who doesn't know anything about sharks? The 3-year-old has no neuronal connections that say shark equals bad news. So their eyes take in the same pictures as you, but they don't know what a plane is, or what a shark is, or maybe even what a fish is, so their brain doesn't make an interpretation or decision about any of that stuff. It just takes in that information like a page in a book with a bunch of things going on. Their output may be, must touch that big thing, because they don't know yet that they shouldn't touch that big thing. We know not to touch it because we've seen Jaws. The output that is created as a result of the decision and interpretation by our brain of the input received varies from person to person, or rather from brain to brain. Our experiences and knowledge shape our output. This process is what scientists have termed plastic. This means that our brain and the neuronal connections that exist within it can be changed. We now know that our brains are plastic until the day we die. Our brains are constantly changing. New neuronal connections are made as often as we learn something, see something new, get better at something, or stop doing something. This process is called neuroplasticity. And neuroplasticity is how we learn a new language, change a habit, heal old injuries, become more efficient at moving our bodies, see better, hear better, and even break old patterns of poor eating choices. The integrated movement condition taps into your plastic brain, creating an environment conducive to positive change through the concept of neuroplasticity. We create novel, simple, brain-based movement drills coupled with traditional fitness programming to create a stronger, leaner, faster, happier, calmer, healthier, better you. Sign up for our newsletter at www.iamcondition.com.